Hello, good evening, good morning, good day, good afternoon. Hello, whoever and wherever you are, you've got your lights off, haven't you? Nice one. It's a little bit of a half and half night ride at the moment, which is quite fun, I suppose. And it's amazing how quick it gets dark, because not 5 minutes ago I left the petrol station after filling up, and already there's a very noticeable difference of light levels. So rather than go all the way out and start a video and then just basically lose track of time and guff everything up, I thought I might as well just start a video here, really. And I know there's a few little lanes down here. We have been down here before, or at least I have, many times. But yeah, I can take the same road several times, and there'll be different points of conversation where I edit in and out, so you only basically see half the road, if that. So unless I continue all this in one very long take. So yes, now a point of topic I want to touch upon today, and it's a very important one to myself, and I'm not sure if you guys can relate, I hope so, but my pastimes either include putting together and painting miniature models, or computer games, or Jelly Bean here. So when I'm playing computer games, video games, you know, however you want to play it, I'm just going to refer to it as like games from now on, but you know, so whenever I play games and such, I always find that a helpful release from like the usual grind and stress and crap that you find in your everyday life, because sometimes it's nice just to escape to a world where nothing else matters. You've got a clear objective, do that. If you like building cities, for example, that's Cities Skylines is a game I like to play, just, you know, because I like to micromanage an entire city, and that's about the best one out there at the moment, which is complex enough but easy enough to understand. And well, I could go on about all the games I play, but hey, basically we are on the verge, if not we've already hit that sort of game crash, easy doggy, where at the moment AAA games, AAA publishers, so your EAs, your Ubisofts, your Bethesdas, oh god, Bethesda, and you know, all the big ones, hello scenery, they're all pumping out games that are essentially half-arsed, let's say. There are a few exceptions there which are great, but EA with their sports titles, their monetization with the loot boxes in games and such, thank you sir, it's just, you know, it's egregious how much some of these companies charge for the online microtransactions. You've already paid full price for the game, and yet here they are with an incentive. It's like, oh, you can get a double XP boost to level up quicker, but you got to give us an X amount of money, or we'll give you a key or an item to open one of these boxes, and the box has randomized loot in it. So essentially, as far as I'm concerned, randomized loot is a form of gambling, because you never know what you're going to get. And if you're using real money to open these things, then huzzah, that's gambling. Now imagine if that has a free plus age sticker on the box looking at you, EA, and you did that with a major sports title. So for example, last year, 2017, I say last year, it's going to be 2019 when this comes out, so excuse me, but 2017, EA reportedly made $800 million from FIFA alone, from people buying packs of cards to hopefully get better players. That's an extortionate amount of money, considering how many people play the game and such as well, and you know, it's absolute madness in my eyes. Nobody needs that kind of money unless you're going to put it into more games. But what EA has made a trend of doing, and what a lot of other people, or a lot of other publishers do as well, is they take things which have already been made, in-game assets, and then basically make the same game but next year. And when I play games, I want a fresh experience. I want a fresh thing. You know, if you play the first of a series and then you play the second one and the third one, you think, okay, well, I need something in that series to keep me going. And you need to change things up a little bit, make it more interesting, include more dynamics, take out some bad things, put in a lot of good things, you know, make it interesting. Now, it baffles me completely, absolutely baffles me how gaming industry has managed to get away with this for so long, and yet now people are sort of waking up to the idea of, well, if I've paid $60 for this full price game and the content is half-arsed, or the game is broken on launch, looking at you, Bethesda, then I don't think that's worth my money. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of ways you can get your money back for that. If you buy it on a platform like Steam or Origin and such, then yeah, you can get your money back after a certain, before a certain amount of time, usually. But if you are, there's a lot of crap in the road here. If you've been given a copy of Fallout 76, for example, or you've been given a physical copy of, you know, FIFA or whatever else sports title that EA has, I'm not just picking on EA, but you get the idea. If you take that back to the store and you've opened that, they're not going to allow you to get you a full refund on it. So you could pay $60 on that, £55 if you would, for essentially what is a shit game, and because it doesn't meet your expectations, you're expected just to deal with it, basically. And it's amazing that in the clothing industry, food industry, all that sort of stuff, if you don't like something, you can take it back, usually. At least here in the UK, anyway. But with video games, that's a very blurred line, especially if it's a PC game. So, and then we go into the extra monetization, which is crap like season passes. So you can buy a game before it's even out, before you even know what to expect, essentially. Pay full price for that, 55 quid, $60, and then they'll be cheeky enough to say, oh, if you give us an extra 20 quid, you get a season pass, and you'll get all the downloadable content later on for free. To which I say, fuck off. I can understand, like, downloadable content, as in additional content, but if your game's incomplete on launch, there's a birdie in the road. Alright, mate. Go on, sunshine. Hope that shows up on the camera. Aw, poor little buggers. There's quite a few of them over there, actually. But yeah, so if you've paid full price for this game and they say we're going to release a bunch of content later on, and then in Square Enix case with Final Fantasy 15 they then decide to pull the plug, you've paid that 20 quid, $20 extra for content you're not going to get. So why pay for the season pass? Why pay for a pre-order bonus when the bonus is going to give you a costume, maybe a couple of items or something? It's not worth it. It's simply not worth it. Now, here's the thing, right? This is where it all comes back. How would you feel if day one they release information? Let's say, for example, Kawasaki said, here's all the information for the 2020 Vulcan bike. It's going to have a 1000cc engine in it. If they do that, I swear I'm buying one. No questions asked. But that's where they get you. Because if Kawasaki were to come out and say, 2020, the Vulcan S is going to be available with a 1000cc engine. Fantastic. However, you can give us money now, and then we'll work on it. Or we're already working on it, we'll complete the project. So 2020 rolls around, you've organised with your dealership to pick the bike up. How would you feel if the dealership then turned around and said, alright, well, the bike's ready, but it's missing an engine? And to which you'd say, what? And they would say, yeah, basically the engine didn't quite fit with the bike, so they're doing some stuff with it, and it's going to be backdated a little bit, or in the worst case scenario, they've released the bike complete just without the engine. But if you want an engine now, you can give us an extra 50 quid, or if you want the actual one later, you can wait. That's basically what computer games are doing. How would you feel? How would you honestly feel if that was the case? I honestly would I could flip a desk. I could flip an entire house. Why not? Because and especially like one of the main selling points of the item, and you can't provide that. You know, you backdate it and then provide it, and you tell everyone, look, okay, we're having a few issues right here. Here's what the story is. Here's the issues. Here's what we're doing to fix it. We're just letting you know, and then we'll keep you updated on the progress. Fantastic. But if you're Bethesda, for example, you would release that bike without the engine, probably without even the bloody tyres, and then expect people to still pay full price for that. It's absolutely egregious. It's just, you can tell how irritated I am about this. Now, I, for one, did not buy many AAA games this year. Fallout 76, Battlefield, Call of Duty, what else was there? Any of the sports titles, whatever. Didn't do it. And my main reason for that is because I don't believe that these AAA companies deserve your money, deserve my money. Because only after a week or two after launch is that first patch going to be implemented where the game's actually fixed. So what you are doing essentially is paying full price for a half-broken product for it to be fixed later on. No, when it's released, I want it to work. Now, if you want a perfect example of this, Google or search on YouTube for Mass Effect Andromeda on launch, because the animations in that were bloody terrible, and a lot of bugs in that game, you know, stopped you from progressing or just completely ruined the immersive experience of it. The storyline was absolutely diabolical, and it's a perfect example of a game that was made in, what was it, 6 months, when they had 2 years, and the majority of that was just like in studio, out of studio politics going on, people allegedly stealing ideas and content from one studio to another, and so on and so forth, prioritizing workloads and such. All of that aside, you've spent a quarter of your time, a third of your time actually making the game, and you expect us to pay full price for that? No, backdate it. I don't give a crap if it affects your sales. You backdate it and give people what they pay for, i.e. you backdate it and give people a bike with a bloody engine and tyres. You see what I'm saying? Oh dear, it's a wonderful evening, isn't it? It is the evening of New Year's, and I seem to have a Mercedes right up my backside. So if I put my rear brake on, because I need to see who's coming around the corner, yeah, you're going to back off. Awesome. But yes, so that's my take on it. That's my advice to you guys as well. Try not to pre-purchase anything, like anything at all, because we're in an age where companies will take minimum effort to release a product of minimum requirements and effort, and they'll make it to be the biggest thing ever and sell it for the highest price. That's the age we live in, and that is tell me otherwise, basically. Computer games are a perfect example of that, and I'm sick to death of the gaming industry as a whole, and I'm sick to death of these so-called journalists that will come out and say this game's the best thing ever, the reviewers which will do the same, or in some cases the game journalists which would be like, you can hit a woman in this game, I don't agree with that. It's like, okay, but I've killed hundreds of men to get to this point, so what's the difference? I can understand the not killing kids thing, because that's just like moral and all that stuff, but oh, it gets to you after a while. And there's a lot of stupidity out there in all things, not just gaming, but that's just like touching the surface of the lake of sewage, which is the gaming industry as a whole. So I've now made an effort to focus on indie games, i.e. games which are made by smaller studios, which don't have investors and such constantly pushing and pulling on the puppet strings to say we need more money out of this. Call of Duty 2018 was it? I'll put the title there so you know which one it is. That made, was it 500 million, 600 million, 700 million? And the investors are saying, well, that's not good enough. You've made all of this money on this game, this one game from sales, and you're saying that's not enough. How much is enough? Spoiler, nothing's enough. Nothing will ever be enough for investors. And as that amount of money comes in and keeps coming in and keep coming in, EA made $800 million on microtransactions alone in FIFA this year, or last year. That's going to go up to 900 million in 2018. 2019, what's going to happen now? They're going to breach the 10 million mark, the 1 billion mark. You know, is it possible to have 100 million? 100 million? 1,000 million? Yeah, 1 billion basically, isn't it? Maths red, come on. You know, and it's just going to get more and more and more. Gaming companies can't keep up with that because now, thankfully, people have finally realised, well, I'm not buying into that because I'm going to be paying out of my bloody arse to keep up with competition if I play online. Or if I want to save 3 hours of work, I can give them a £5. Sometimes that's not a bad thing, but when you've already paid $60, 55 quid for a game, that's taking the piss. So have yourselves a good one. I'm going to end it rather abruptly there, aren't I? Just keep your eyes out, do your research, have a look at things. Thank the lucky stars above that we still can pay for a bike and get a bike, basically, rather than pay for a bike and then be told, yeah, the frame wasn't good, so we have to change it. So you can have the bike now, but we'll change the frame and make it better later on. So that's not how it works, mate. The frame is the core structure of which the bike works on. If that's defective, I need to know, and I need to not ride that. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, anyway, I'm going to end it there. So have yourselves a good day, a good weekend, a lovely new year, and I hope good health. Hello. I hope comfort, good tidings, happy times ahead, and we can always hope that the next year is going to be better than the current one. But at some point, just like all things, one year is going to be worse than everything else, and I hope that never comes, but it's kind of a sour note to end it on, really, isn't it? Happy 2019, everyone!